Okay, so this is test prep for test 1. There are 30 questions, and it's going to cover everything in chapter 1 that we studied. The first section is part 1. It's questions 1 through 10, and it's going to be dealing with greetings and introducing yourself, asking what someone else's name is, taking leave of somebody. So the directions say, write the saludo or presentación that best fits with the situation given. And so I've given you kind of like a word bank, and you have to pick which phrase or sentence fits with the situation. Now, the situation is written in English, so you might have something that says, you tell someone what your name is. It might be you greet someone in the afternoon. You ask your friend, what's up? We can read that. Okay, so it'll be something kind of similar to this, and I'm going to have given you different things, and you're just going to pick the right one. So, for example, in the word bank, there might be buenas tardes, there might be me llamo, and then there might be something like ¿cómo estás? Or ¿cómo está? Or ¿qué tal? Okay, so when you tell someone what your name is, obviously the answer is going to be me llamo ... My name is, or I call myself. You greet someone in the afternoon, so you're going to look for buenas tardes. Okay. You ask your friend, what's up? So if you ask your friend, hey, how are you? You're going to look for ¿cómo estás? If you meet somebody that you don't know or who's older than you that you respect, you're going to ask ¿cómo está usted? If you just want to ask your friend, like, hey, what's up? What's going on? We say ¿qué tal? Okay? So it's going to be that kind of thing. You need to be studying your notes. You need to be studying the expressions on, let's see, page 2, 3, 5, and I think that's it. But basically all the greetings, all the ways to say goodbye, all the ways to say what's your name. So hopefully you took good notes because we kind of went over these in class. So yeah. Okay. Part 2 is just 3 questions. It's 11 through 13. So part 2 is 11 through 13, and it's numbers. It says, write the following numbers out in words. So it's very similar. In fact, it's almost identical to activity 8 on page 6, where it was telephone numbers, and you guys had to say, you know, so-and-so's number is da, 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 and you had to spell it out in the Spanish numbers. So that's exactly what you're going to do, minus the, you know, the number of Raul is, or Raul's number is. Like, all you have to do is write the actual numbers. So you're going to have something like, okay, so it's going to be in phone number form, but it's just going to look like this, and all you're going to do is you're going to write out the numbers. So 6 is 6, 9 is 9, 1 is 1, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 7, 0. Okay? So 6, 9, 1, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 7, 0. So all you did is just write out the actual number words. Okay? So there's 3 questions like that. So you need to know numbers 0 through 10. 0 through 10, 0 through 9. All right, so part 3 is 14 through 17. Okay. This is days of the week. Days of the week. So this is going to be kind of like activity 14 on page 10. So you need to know the days of the week. You need to know what order they go in. And it's going to be like almost exactly like activity 14. So it's like, si hoy es martes, mañana será blank. So we've got, so I'll just give you it. Si hoy es, what did I say, lunes, mañana será blank. Okay, so it says if today is Monday, tomorrow will be, si hoy es lunes, mañana será martes, because if today's Monday, tomorrow is Tuesday. Martes means Tuesday, right? So what you need to know is hoy es, mañana será, ayer fue. And I think I gave you all of these in class. But this means today is, tomorrow will be, and yesterday was. Okay? So it's going to be just like this. Like I might have something like, si ayer fue miércoles, hoy es blank. So if yesterday was Wednesday, today is Thursday, which is jueves. Okay? All right. Part 4 and 5, I believe. So yeah, part 4 and 5 are going to be vocabulary words. So part 4 is going to be 18 through 24. Okay. And this is going to be Spanish to English. Okay. So I'm going to give you a words in Spanish, and you're going to translate them to English. So the directions say translate the following words to English. So this is going to be, like, both sections 4 and 5 are going to cover all of the vocabulary that was in chapter 1. Now I am going to tell you what pages this is supposed to be on. I think I gave you a vocabulary list from chapter 1. If I didn't actually print it out and hand it to you, there is one on our Google Drive. So you should have our Google Drive written down somewhere. If you go to our class, RHSA Spanish 1, there is a printout that, or there's a document on there that says chapter 1 vocabulary, I think. And it should have all of the vocabulary words that I expect you to know from chapter 1. I'm not always going to do that. But for chapter 1, since we were so crazy for time, the first day, I went ahead and made you a list. I think I may have given it to you in class, but if I didn't, it's on the Google Drive. So vocabulary is found on page 7, family, page 8, family, page 9, La clase, so class stuff. And then page 10 with days of the week. Okay, so I expect you to know all of those. Now, if I were to give you a word like la tía, in Spanish, so you have to write the definition in English, you cannot forget this word right here. A lot of students just look at the noun and they're just like, oh, tía means aunt. So they just write aunt. But that's only half of the definition. You can't leave this out. I expect you to translate this. So yes, tía means aunt, but what does la mean? La means the aunt. Okay? So you still have to say both words. Okay? So if you left this off, it would be automatically half credit. Like I'd take half of the credit away, which stinks. Okay? Don't lose points because of something silly like this. If I said un pupitre, pupitre is a student desk. If you just said desk, I would be okay with that, but technically a pupitre is a student desk. And then we have un. What do we do with this? It doesn't mean the, because only the definite articles el and la mean the. Un and una are the indefinite articles, and they mean a or an. So in this case, un is going to mean a student desk. So again, if you leave this off, it's automatically half credit because I need you to translate both of these, okay? Because what I need you to focus on is that these are not interchangeable. I have students who sometimes will say that this means a ant or an ant, but it doesn't. La means the, el means the, un means a, una means a. Okay, so I need you to prove to me that you know what these mean. Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from Spanish to English. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from English to Spanish. So part 5 is 25 to 30. And this is English to Spanish. Okay? And so this is going to be something like male cousin. All right? So prima or primo are the words for cousin. Prima is a female cousin, so primo has to be the male cousin. Now, since I didn't put the male cousin or a male cousin, you don't have to include an article. Okay? So these from English to Spanish do not have articles in the front, so you can just write the noun. All right? There might be a word like pencil. Pencil. What's the word for pencil? Lápiz. Once again, I did not put a pencil or the pencil, so all you have to do is write lápiz. Okay? Then that's it. That's the end of the test. So it's super short. Should be super easy. The last section is 3 extra credit questions. They come from, let's see, page 11, punctuation and division of syllables. So there's like this paragraph right here. I'm not sure if you can see it. This paragraph right here on page 11, I think, punctuation and division of syllables. So there might be a question from that. That might be it. I think that's it for this test. So yeah, so your extra credit questions will come from those paragraphs about punctuation and division of syllables. So you definitely need to read that. It's true, false. So I wrote out a statement, and circle the T if the statement's true, circle the F if the statement is false. I don't think there's a Bible verse this chapter. No, there's no verse. But just for your information, there's no official Bible verse given in this chapter, but in every other lesson, so there's 3 lessons in a chapter, so every lesson there's a Bible verse. So what we do with Bible verses is, if you write your Bible verse on a test, it's extra credit. And it's so much extra credit that what it is, let's say that you missed 4 questions, but you wrote down all 3 verses from, so it's starting in chapter 2. There's 3 lessons. Each lesson has a verse, so there's 3 verses. So each verse cancels out a wrong answer, which means that if you had missed 4, you got 3 verses. That means I would only count off 1 wrong answer. Okay? So then let's say that, you got, it was out of 50, so it would be 49 out of 50. That is a 96, I think. I don't know the math. I think that's right, because they're worth 2 points. Oh, 98. 98. Okay. Anyway, the point is, verses cancel out wrong answers. If you got 100 on the test and you wrote 3 verses, you get 103. Okay? I've had students who get 115s on every test because they memorized so many verses that, they wrote down 18 or 20 verses, and then it cancels out, the 10 questions that they got wrong, plus the bonus verses is 110 or 115. So, I also don't want to limit you to the verses that are in the book. So if you have a favorite verse and you just think, oh, I'd like to memorize this in Spanish, you just look it up online or in a Spanish Bible. I have a Spanish Bible I can bring to class if you're interested in seeing that. Just let me know. And so if there's a verse you particularly want to learn in Spanish, I'll let you put that on the test. I'm never going to discourage you from memorizing God's Word. So if this is a great incentive, I think. And it just goes to show, I think you'll never know when you have the opportunity to tell somebody about Jesus in Spanish. And so just start memorizing these verses, okay? So anyway, that's your test. Questions, please email me as soon as possible, and I will do my best to help you. And yeah, so email me with questions or concerns, and I will do my best to help you.